Hello, everybody. Welcome to Island War. 2 islands, 2 teams, only 1 team wins. Rules are simple. 1 hour and 30 minutes to gear up, then the border that separates them will drop. With that being said, sit back and enjoy. They all spawned in with one goal in mind: win the event and become victorious. Right off the bat, a player by the name of Own Gods, known for having no mercy and being very skilled at combat, he was their leader. He named the island Vortex. On the other island, everyone was everywhere. They didn't have a leader or a name for their island yet. One of them tried to escape to the other island, but the boarders didn't let him through. Little did I know people would soon find ways to get to the other islands. Back on Vortex Island, they started to put sheep in a box for a farm later on. It was a slow process, but they were able to put them in the box and close it before they could escape, almost dying while doing so. Luckily for him, he survived. Back on Island 2, they started searching for caves underwater, but found none, so he went back up to the surface. Night hit, and one of Island 2's members almost died. Luckily for him, he had a buddy help him. As I saw them fight off mobs, I realized that Island 2 had bad fighters. That makes them have a huge disadvantage. Back on Vortex Island, they had no trouble fending off the mobs, easily wiping out a zombie with 2 successive hits. That was until a horde of zombies spawned in, and they scrambled around trying to save the zombie villagers for enchants later on. They tried to get the zombie villagers into a hole, but failed over and over again. Back on Island 2, they avoided the mobs by finding shelter underground. One of them started making a staircase down to Bedrock level. On Vortex Island, some of their members also started to mine for iron. Over at Island 2, the staircase they were making got deeper. Vortex's team were already stacked up rocking full iron armor. There was a problem, however. The border stopped them from exploring the rest of the cave. Much worse than that, one of them died. Right next to the lava, too. Back at Island 2, their little shelter expanded. They even added in some animals. Nice new addition to the base. After that, I informed one of them about the wealth Vortex Island had and how powerful they were. He didn't care. Instead, I informed another one of them. He read it, thought about it, and then said, I waited and waited until finally. Took him that long to answer me, just to ask, how stacked are they? Don't even gotta explain their reaction. Obviously, they were worried and scared. But I had faith in them, that they would win. But little did I know the gear they had was the same, if not better. These guys got to work, getting nearly full diamond. I'm very impressed. Never expected a comeback like this. Back with Vortex, and apparently they were trying to escape. They actually were able to go to the other side and loot the cave. Positioning a boat at the right angle, they were able to glitch out. Little rats found a way to cheat and get out. Back on Island 2, they started to make some sort of hole. That's when they told me it was for a trap they were building. They even asked me for help, but obviously I declined. Checked up on Vortex, and they were well geared. They built walls like how I told them to, but they won't end up using them. Made it for nothing. There was 10 minutes left till the border dropped, and these guys haven't finished the walls. I even made a ladder to help them out just a tiny bit. They haven't even finished the trap either. Things were not looking good for them at all. Vortex prepared to raid the other island and were much more organized than the other island. As I announced that the borders would be dropping in 2 minutes, everyone got ready for a fight. Vortex's team was heavily armored and ready for a fight. Island 2, however, still working on the trap. That's when my timer went off. It was time for the borders to drop. But still, after the borders were opened, Island 2 was still working on the trap. They soon abandoned it and fled to their tunnels, where they started to gear up. They were all preparing for a fight. And so was Vortex. They got on their boats ready for battle. As they charged to the island, they only had one thing in mind: win the event and become victorious. They soon entered enemy territory and were looking for them. I made the announcement that Vortex was on their land. They were still preparing, however. Vortex soon found their staircase and were rushing in, ready to kill anyone on sight. They slowly and cautiously went down the stairs. Fortunately for Island 2, they went to the other staircase and were able to avoid them for a little bit. Both teams crossing each other slowly. They tried to make a run to the surface, but they freaked out and decided to just dig up. As Vortex dug across to the other staircase, Island 2's people went back down. Own God's ordering his soldiers to dig for him, trying to keep up and kill Island 2's people. But Island 2 had different plans. They continued to dig up and somehow lost Vortex, blocking off the tunnel so they won't chase after them, the move that saved their team. It worked. Vortex was fooled. Island 2's people were able to escape because of that move. The same can't be said about their base. It was raided, leaving nothing left. Their people were way more important than a base. They were able to escape and reach the surface. Vortex finally realized they were fooled and rushed the surface ready to kill. Island 2 already surfaced, charged down ready to kill Vortex's people. Blowing their horns, making themselves aware, no fear, just determination to win. Let the fight begin! They did it! Vortex has won the event!